Welcome back to Her Freedom Project podcast. I'm your host, Ivana, and today I'm going to be interviewing myself. My husband's going to be doing the interviewing questions, but we're gonna open up, and I'm going to let you into my journey and my purpose and the things that I feel like are my calling to continue to be the person that I've fought so hard to be. So let's get right into it. When you see me looking over, I'm looking over at my husband, so it's not weird. It's like he doesn't want to be on camera. He said he wasn't dressed for it, but I will. I will answer to the camera. That's what I should say. Before my freedom, I do believe that I really didn't know where I was going in my life. I just knew that I was so happy to be home. So my backstory a little bit is that I got in trouble at the age of 15 and I served 13 years in prison. I got out at 27 years old, about to be 28. And I left where I was and I came out to Vegas. I met my husband maybe like 5 months after me getting out. And we became good friends, and he showed me the city, and I was enamored. I couldn't believe, like I was in awe with all the lights, but I wasn't like starstruck or nothing. I wasn't ever starstruck. I just was in awe, and it motivated me to want something more for myself. So I really started to, think about the things that I wanted and how I was going to attain those things. So I started applying for jobs. I'm a hairstylist, a licensed cosmetologist. And so I started looking for jobs in the hair industry. I landed a job at a salon called Roots out here. And it was so far away, I just could never get my feet planted in it. But I ended up finding a job closer to where I was living, so that made it a lot easier. And then so at the time, I was actually working two jobs, but I narrowed it down to one by the end of that year. I got out in July, and by December, I was just working at the barbershop because being in two places at one time is really hard to build a clientele. Actually, the hardest part for me was getting free because I'm still supposed to be there. So that was really hard for me, was to attain the freedom. I had to do a lot of rehabilitation. I had to take a lot of take a lot of beats. Sometimes you got to take a beat. I had to take a lot of beats. Probably could have wrote a whole album with all the beats I had to take. I was just saying, like it was hard because first of all, I had to get people to believe that I had changed. And coming from 15 years old to 27 years old, I really didn't know how to do that because I really didn't even know who I was. I mean, I'm this kid who goes into this place full of criminals. There's some criminals. There's some people who, weren't really there for doing anything that bad. So there were a lot of different type of personalities in that place. And there were a lot of things going on. So I had to find a way to tap in and lock in. But it took me some years to do that because I was a kid. Like, I think about yourself at 15, 16, 17. I've turned 16 in prison. So, like in my mind, I'm still like, I want to be doing something, like I should be doing something. But at the same time, I'm about to go to trial. So, like my mind was in a different place during those younger years. But I always had the support of my family to kind of keep me locked into what I needed to be doing behind bars. Like, I had to stay in school. Well, legally, I had to stay in school because I was so young. So I had to stay in school. I had to do certain things in a certain order so that I could get time cuts, but also get, the certifications that I needed in case I did get out. I wasn't just going home empty-handed. So, yeah. Yeah, those roles are shaping me currently right now, like as it's all unfolding with the podcast and just with everything that I'm doing, running my business, my kids running me like I'm their business. Just everything that's going on in life is shaping me, because sometimes I do still have those thoughts where it's like, man, am I good enough to be a podcaster? But when I'm talking to my guests, I'm in a different world. I'm in a different place. Like I'm in their world, and I'm so happy and honored to be there. So there's no regrets. No regrets.
All right, now we're gonna talk about.
What I mean by that is like freedom is not just like, so for me, freedom is what it was. It was a fight to literally be free, and then the fight to keep my freedom and my peace and my privacy once I got out and I was free. So I knew that people wanted to talk to me about my story. They wanted, it was a highly publicized case. It was a high profile case. So that town and that whole maybe state knew who I was, and who, that I was being released. So it was like, it was not something that was able to be kept quiet and under the wraps. It was very publicized. So a lot of people wanted that opportunity to talk to me for the first time. But I didn't really understand business, but I just knew that they didn't care about my well-being. Like I knew that the people that wanted to talk to me didn't care about if I, was successful or not, or if I stayed free, or if I went back, or if I made another mistake. Like they didn't care about that. I felt like a lot of people just wanted to talk to me to see if I had changed. And and so I refused, and I kind of ran away. So I understood that there was a business in my freedom, maybe not anybody else's freedom. But when I talk about freedom, it's not just freedom in the aspect of jail or being a civilian. It's not that. It's deeper. It's more like in your mind, sometimes you find yourself in places where you can't break through, and you're just kind of stuck, and you keep trying to get out. You keep trying to get out, and everything that you're doing, everything that you do is not working. But it's also building you up to be who you need to be for your purpose. So whatever it is that you're trying to do, you have to go through things. You don't just get to jump in it and be an expert. You have to go through things to, because maybe everything that I went through, because I think about it like this, I went through so much in life, and a lot of it was my fault. It was, and I won't say fault, it was just my decisions. Some of them were horrible, some of them were amazing. But everything that has happened in the last 44 years of my life have maybe shaped me for what's going on right now. How to connect with the public, how to connect with people. Because I think in my life, I feel like nobody went through what I went through. So, like there's things that I'm a certain way about because I went through what I went through. But it also reminds me that no, maybe they didn't go through that, but I also have never had to go through chemotherapy. I've also never had to, deal with a child with, a disability in that aspect. Like there's a lot of things that could cause you to feel locked up or bound or incarcerated, that sometimes you just need to hear somebody else's story to help you push through. Because I felt like being locked up was the worst thing in the world. I didn't want people to know that I was there. Like I felt like I had grown up, like I'm not this kid anymore. So that was a big stigma for me coming out. Like I just did not want people to judge me for that child who made that mistake. So I was willing to go to whatever lengths. If it meant moving to Africa, I was willing to move to Africa. It didn't matter. I don't care. I just don't want people to judge me based on a mistake that I made, because it took a lot of work to grow into the person that I was, who fought to be free. So I refuse to let anybody take me back and label me as a bad person or anything like that. Like, I'm willing to accept accountability. I always have, but I don't let you label me. I accept accountability for the mistakes that I make, and then we move forward, or we don't. Either way,
Okay.
we will move forward. That's easy. For me, my promise is to always talk to real people with real stories. That's my promise. And I know for a fact, in talking to the people that I talk to and sharing my story with you today, you will gain something, even if it's, oh, shoot, wait, I didn't even think that I could do that. Let me call so and so. Let me email so and so, or let me even reach out to Devonna and see if she can help me connect the dots with this. And I'm always available for now, like, I'm available to talk and have conversations to see whatever it'll take to help my viewers and my subscribers, which I feel like will be my family, to help them take that next step, because that's what family does. That's what we do in this family.
Mm-hmm. There's anything else you might want to add?
I just, like, I really want to add, and I really want to talk about the 30-day journal that I have coming up. And actually, we'll talk about it more in the commercial. All right, before we wrap up, I want to leave you with something that's more than just inspiration. It's implementation. I've created the 30-day Freedom Blueprint Journal for anyone ready to stop sitting on their goals and start taking daily action. This journal walks you through 30 days of real self-work, clarity, consistency, confidence, all the things you need. It's the same process I use to rebuild my mindset, my business, and my peace. So if you're tired of waiting for the perfect moment, this is it. Grab your copy, start today, and tag me in your journey using hashtag Freedom Blueprint 30, and we can grow together. You can click the link in the description. Let's make these next 30 days the most intentional days of your year, one page at a time. Thanks, guys. See you in the next episode.